Herzlich willkommen, meine Damen und Herren. This is what I would say if we would be casting in German. Welcome everybody. It's game 2 of Berlin FIDE World Chess Finals. Well, pretty much the last game in the whole Grand Prix series, last classical game that is, right, in case of a draw. There will be a tiebreak tomorrow, but that's, yeah. Welcome, Jesse. I don't know if we have to go full disclosure more than say that we will have a guest. Okay, we will have a guest, but yeah, a bit late about that. What are your feelings when?
It's a secret.
Yeah, what are your feelings when this kind of tournament is, finished? I don't know. You've played perhaps, but since it's your kind of first experience as the commentator, as far as I understand, right? So, what's
Yeah, hi, Mira. I hope you're doing well. I suppose it's not my first time commentating in general, but it is my first time commentating on the Grand Prix, and what an honor it is as well, especially to work alongside you. But yeah, it's like a bittersweet moment. You're like, yes, the players and the commentators get to rest after the tournament finishes, but also it's like, we were enjoying the games, enjoying the fast-paced chess, especially with the tie breaks and so on, and the exciting chess. I've been learning a lot, not only from the players, but from you too.
Okay, thanks for your kind words. Yeah, and indeed, my commentator's career is already lasting for like more than 10 years, perhaps. And I was thinking it inevitably comes the moment, especially when the tournament is so long, that you kind of feel, okay, I had enough of it, let it finish, let's stop. But then when it's the last day, you kind of look at yourself and think, what am I going to be doing tomorrow? I mean, it was a cool thing to do. Every day, 3 p.m. we would gather and talk about the games, right? So it's indeed a bittersweet moment. What to expect today? Naka having the white pieces, and yesterday he was led away with kind of effortless draw with black. I want to say, right? I mean, we were speculating who surprised whom, but it turned out, it was a draw in 1 hour. Perhaps everyone was well prepared. So I'm wondering today, how inclined he is to try to put some pressure on Wesley So. I mean, he probably will try to do so, but never been that easy.
He was spot on with the predictions actually yesterday. So I would love to know what sort of opening we might see today.
What opening we might see? No, really. I mean, it's much harder to predict Naka because he always has this B3 related stuff as the backup plan. So he probably will spend some time trying to find a promising line after e4, d4, whatever. I mean, I think more of an e4 player Naka is, right? But if this doesn't work, he can go with his rapid and blitz repertoire. He can play 1b3 or he can play knight f3, b3. I think that he does more often. So that's a tougher choice.
Was that considered one of his blitz openings?
Yeah.
Because I think we were discussing one of his blitz openings, or chat was at least.
Yeah. This knight f3, b3, the stuff that he has done. No, you were not here. I think Anish was joining that day on a tiebreak day after the semifinals.
Okay, I must have been watching and modding in chat, lurking in the shadows.
Well, so that's the thing, right? I mean. It looks weird, and I'm saying, that's a strange position they're playing, and it turns out that he already has possibly 200 games played with this one. It's just online blitz, right? So I would not come up with kind of a bold predictions that exactly this opening is going to be played, this or that, whatever. I would rather say that by move 1 or move 2 as the maximum, we would be able to figure out, we probably will be able to figure out what mood he is in. So I'm really expecting, like, if e4 happens, then Wesley goes e5 most of the time. And then it's so solid that a maximum that we can hope for is a little bit of, you know, prep check. Like, okay, do you remember this specific sharp line? And the answer is yes, I do. And then it's a draw in an hour or two, right? But if he goes for something a little bit trickier, like, don't know, the London comes to mind, or variations of London, this Jabava London, as I was told, yeah, d4, knight c3, bishop f4.
Right.
Or straight up knight f3, b3, the blitz Naka Repetra, then we might see more of a game, right? Does not...
Miro, I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah, tell me.
I'm very, very worried. There's no T.
There is no
next to
T.
Naka for the first time.
So it's a novelty.
Yes.
It's a novelty then.
It's a novelty. I don't know if this is him telling his opponent, listen, Wesley, it's going to be a short day today.
Or,
I don't even need tea.
Or the opposite. Like, I mean, okay, we are up for a serious business. No, no tea breaks today. I'm going to work and I'm going to make you work. So there'll be no spare time.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, but really, yeah, really curious to see the opening and yeah, what it plays out to. Wesley arrived at the board, still a couple of minutes before the start.
We have about 2 minutes before starting, I think, so we...
Yeah, so I think that's exactly when we have to break for sponsors ads, yeah, and hopefully we'll catch the first move. Yeah, so...
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, didn't start yet.
Yeah, I think they're starting in a few seconds, actually.
Yes, and Naka fully concentrated, or at least tries to, kind of appears to be,
Oh my
right?
gosh. That is scary.
That is scary.
Whenever my opponent, I'm sort of sitting down at the board and my opponent is already fully focused, hands on his head sort of vibes, I'm always terrified.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you have this, but I mean, I believe most of players, I mean, you play a few tournaments and you kind of develop this sort of a pattern arriving at the board. So some people sit it like Naka 5 minutes before the game. Some prefer to arrive a few seconds before the clock is started. So that's quite interesting, because I never felt never found attractive to be seated in front of my opponent. I used to walk a lot, actually. Whenever it's not my move, right, I would make a move and then just, go for a walk. Simply because,
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I have something against my opponent or anything, but it was a little, I mean, it felt a bit awkward. Like staring at each other and so on. And sometimes it's absolutely fine. Yeah, sometimes, you would play with someone very sympathetic and it's absolutely fine. But yeah, like, especially if the game itself is of a kind of big sports value, I don't know, you play for the first place in the tournament or stuff like that, right? Then it always felt a bit awkward and I would prefer to leave the board as soon as I can.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have you ever had those moments where your opponent just stares you down the entire time?
Well, there've been examples. Yeah, I mean, obviously, playing open tournaments, you do play with a bunch of different people, so sometimes that would be the case. Yeah. Okay, so e4, e5 played, which is a little bit of a pessimistic start, I have to say. And
Pessimistic?
yeah,
I love e4.
No. I mean, well, if it kind of
In general, at high level, probably.
I mean, the scenario I was describing, so that so far it plays out to this theory of Naka testing one of the lines that Wesley's going to pick, and quite likely we are, up for another draw starting from move 2. That's what I'm starting to talk yet, but yeah, we'll see. So
we have knight c6 instead of the Petrov.
yeah, already something. Already. So bishop goes to b5, and I presume we will have a guest, a mysterious guest, very soon.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Hi, Vincent. We have
Hello.
one of the players, Vincent Keymer, joining us today. Yeah, we can see you, but yet can't hear from you for whatever reason, or I can't hear from you.
Should work for now.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's perfect. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Got a bit
That's
of
good.
rest.
Yes. And how was the tournament for you?
I mean, okay, the result was for me, I would say pretty good. I mean, it was really nice experience. As I already said a few times, I believe. I mean, okay, you get the chance to face 2-7+ player in every game. I mean, where else can you get this? Yeah, that's really great experience.
And you got your first win in a Grand Prix. Congratulations.
Yeah, that as well. Thank you.
Vincent, I was thinking about the system. I mean, strangely enough, even though they were claiming it was the basket system pairing, right, like the football World Cup, right? But nevertheless, you ended up with Dubov in the same group, and some people were basically ending up in the same groups with like 3 players in the same group. I think it is for Vityugov, Yu Yangi, and Giri. So it was a little bit strange group pairing, and so did it bother you at all, or you were just playing your game?
Yeah, I mean, since for me, I didn't really play for the candidates, it wasn't really bothering, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I guess in case of this Hikaru and Aronian, it was maybe they had some reason. Yeah, I mean, it's for them, like, they both could have still qualified, and more or less this was a decision that only one of them could go through. But I mean, okay, I don't believe that there's any way to have like a fully fair kind of competition. Yeah, I mean, there's always some kind of inequality. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's exactly, like, especially my thoughts are, for this Swiss tournament. So whichever tiebreak you pick up, there is always someone who's upset, right? You go with progressive score, you go with the average rating of the opponents, and there is always the guy who complains, okay, it's unfair and should have been the other way around. Yeah, so probably it is just a system which is like, okay, just an okay system, and everyone was in kind of in the same circumstances, right? Yeah, sure.
Okay, and our game has started. Well, so far only 3 moves, so not much to discuss. Berlin defense in Berlin, which sounds, sounds logical.
Mm-hmm. And Vincent, are you from Berlin?
No, actually not. I mean, I'm from the small village near Frankfurt. I mean, that's, I would say, more in the south of Germany.
And how does it feel sort of playing in your home ground, inverted commas, compared to other countries? Does it make you feel a lot more comfortable? Because obviously the commute, or at least traveling to the tournament, is not that long compared to those from the US.
Yeah, I would say it has some advantages. Yeah, you just know the place, maybe also the country a bit. I mean, it's not like you're totally new there, which can be an advantage, I would say. And of course, yeah, also, I mean, especially Berlin, I've been to Berlin quite a few times. Also, usually the Bundesliga finals have been there. So it's also not Berlin, I've been there quite a few times. I think really nice place. So yeah, it was good to play there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, you've mentioned advantages, but sometimes, okay, I don't know. I mean, Berlin, as you said, it's not the hometown at the very least, but sometimes when you are playing something like of a very high profile event and you're on a local soil, then you're kind of under additional pressure sometimes, like everyone, like relatives coming and asking you in the evening, okay, what happened today, what happened, you know. And yes, because I remember once I was playing as one of the youngsters, one of the low-rated players. I was playing the zonal. So back then it was a way to qualify for the World Championship, it was called, not even the World Cup, yeah, but Knockout World Championship from the zonal. So there wasn't European individual, there were zonal tournaments, and yeah. And I was playing, and I was in the morning, I would go to university to attend some lectures, and then in the evening I would go play chess against you know, guys like 26 plus. That was rough. So sometimes like
Hard to find the energy.
yeah, traveling sometimes has its benefits as well.
And there is a question from Chad for Vincent. I just have to look for it real quick. I believe it was the matter of, do you have social media and how many hours a day do you train your chess?
Okay, I'll answer the hours question first. I would say really depends. Yeah, I mean, on some days you'll feel like, okay, I'm tired, I want to relax a bit and I won't do that much. But I mean, usually if you're really like in training camp or trying to prepare for a tournament, I would say that like 8-10 hours a day is more or less normal. And yeah, I have social media, but only rather recently. I mean, as long I was saying like, okay, I will finish school, and then that's also something I should start with. So yeah, I mean, more or less starting with the professional chess career, also starting social media.
Oh, you just finished school, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had the final exams written and oral right before the Grand Prix. I mean, the written exams right before
my
the
goodness.
first.
Yeah. How was it being the youngest participant in the Grand Prix, by the way?
Okay, I didn't really feel any more or less difference. I mean,
Any difference? Okay.
I believe at least that I've been the youngest participant in more or less quite many tournaments, so I don't think this is that big of a deal.
Yeah, once again, that's perhaps something that separates chess from many other sports, right? So, okay, you're young, but as long as you're not 5, let's say, among grown-up men, right? It doesn't really matter. Yeah,
Sure.
indeed. Someone has to be the youngest, someone has to be the oldest. So, for instance, in this tournament, okay, Shirov was the oldest, but the one that he was not playing, who was the oldest here, by the way? I've never thought of this, but must have been Levon.
Was it? I thought it was. You mean in this leg?
In this,
I thought
yeah,
in general it
last,
was maybe Nigel Shaw.
No, Nigel
Nigel Shaw, I mean,
wasn't playing.
sorry.
Wait a second. No, it's Shirov for sure.
Shirov, that's who I was referring to. My apologies.
But for this
Just reading the
third
chat.
tournament, where Shirov was not present, who was the oldest?
Yes.
Levon, apparently.
Probably.
I really don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost for certain Levon, and then, you know, so as much as he doesn't think of it, I think we shouldn't think of who's the youngest, who's the oldest, right? Who played well, who didn't play well.
Sure.
We have the Berlin, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I mean, there is still a chance for D takes E5 after knight D6, which is a scary option. Scary as
Why
in.
would you say that it's scary?
Because that's we used to have a joke that, and it was coined by Jan Nepomniachtchi himself. Knight D4, knight takes D4, D5. That's the line Vincent is perfectly aware of. He had captures this, and this was called Nepomniachtchi refutation of the Berlin. So you just refute or
All
rather
right, this
refusation,
repetition.
perhaps, not refutation, but refusation. You refuse to play by simply going for a draw,
Refusation.
right? And that's what he has done a couple of times in these Magnus tournaments, the online events that started, I mean, Champions Tour or whatever it's called, right? They've played a bunch of those. And then after he started doing this, it's not like the line was unheard of. That this line exists for ages. But Jan done this, and then it was sort of draw pandemic, because everyone started to make draws like that, right? And the format as well, they had 4 games played, but when you get to the knockout stage, right, each day would consist of 4 rapid games, and then a couple of those would be this. Like I remember Hikaru doing it against Magnus. I remember, it's been a lot of such things. And now, in our match, I don't know how serious am I, because I believe Hikaru wouldn't mind playing the tiebreak. Just, of course, since it's game 2, you're white, you have all the reasons to try, right? It's not like you just want to make a draw. For this, by the way, he could have gone rook e1 if he wanted a draw. So d4 is more of a serious move. But still, chances are that he'll try a little, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. He'll just make a draw, right? Wesley surprised me a bit with the Berlin, because I thought the Petrov would be the line. But yeah, we shall see.
So your prediction for today was the Petrov, and instead we got the Berlin.
Not necessarily. My prediction was that, like, if e4, e5 happens, then probably it'll be sort of an opening test, so some long prepared specific line, and then if the answer is yes, I do remember what to do here, then very likely a draw. And then if you really play for a win from the start, it should have been something, I don't know, messed up, like knight f3, b3 we could expect from Naka even in a classical game.
Yeah, do you think yesterday's game was also a test, since they played quite a few moves rather quickly, assuming they were still in preparation?
Yeah, maybe we could ask Vincent. How do you feel about those? What's the better approach? I understand, like, for you, it's maybe like you were trying to play every game. That was clear, right? But what's the better approach between the two? Like, you try to, let's say that the longish line you are going for is a draw, and you're just testing, or you start playing from, I don't know, move 3, move 4.
Yeah, I would say it's not that easy for white. Yeah, you can play some stuff, but it's also not like you will get a great game after this. Usually then black also has no problems, can just get a good position, and that's also not exactly what you want to allow. So, trying to find a line where black has to find most good moves is more or less the thing you should go for. Yeah, and of course this Nimzo queen c2 e4, of course, has been known for a very long time as one of those lines where you can test. And yeah, I believe that at least till knight e6, I'm pretty sure both players were still fully in the book. And I think this f4 move that Wesley played has been played by Chong, I think. I'm not that sure, but I think. And, okay, he got something, yeah? So you can't really say that it was, like, totally easy for black. So it's always like, if you have the engine saying, okay, it's 0, 0, 0, then of course, yeah, it's easy. But if you have to find the move, sometimes can be pretty difficult. So I think it can be really unpleasant, if you don't know exactly, and the opponent is blitzing out all the moves, and you know that, yeah, actually my position is fine, but I don't know how. This can be really tricky.
I was actually going to ask, you think Wesley had chances yesterday?
Okay, I just looked rather briefly through the game and saw that, yeah, maybe he was a bit better at some point. But of course in these positions also, even if you get a bit better, it's really hard to convert this to anything, but at least I believe that engine would have suggested that, yeah, there were cleaner ways to draw black.
Yeah, that's seemingly, kind of one of the opening, one of the directions of the opening preparation nowadays, right? Because there is no longer an option of analyzing it till white wins, because nobody enters this with black, right? So all the lines that we are currently playing are very solid, sound, and most of the time would end in a draw. And perhaps the idea is that find some position where engine says it's drawish, but you do see practical chances, and maybe it will be uncomfortable for your opponent. I think that's what most of players try to achieve nowadays, right?
Yeah, Miro, you were actually talking about this sort of style, or rather approach, when it comes to the opening. I mean, where white has multiple moves that still give you 0-0, but black has to find the best move every single time.
Yeah.
So that is quite nice, yeah.
Vincent, if it's not a top secret, whom are you working with nowadays? Because I think Peter Lecko is not a secret. I mean, he mentioned this, and then perhaps you've mentioned this. I don't know if you are still working together.
No, we are still working together, and also did for the Grand Prix. I mean, I believe we started in November 2017. I mean, he was more or less, I didn't really have any kind of trainer at that point, really, and I was going to the Under-20 World Championship, and then, he was asked to, help me during this tournament with openings and preparation and stuff, and since then we started training, and I really have to say that this is really something that gave me a lot, this training. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be on the more or less level I am now without him, so that's really great,
Yeah, that's impressive.
I was going to ask about your federation in general, because I don't know much about the chess in Germany. I mean, I know there's this huge Bundesliga and so on, but do they organize, your federation organize like chess camps and coaches for you, and tournaments such as like round robins and stuff like that often?
I mean, there have been organized some round robin tournaments in the past. I mean, usually there's always this kind of, it's called German Masters tournament, where more or less most of the best German players are competing for the first prize. And then also some, I mean, I think last year they also did like an additional round robin tournament, so this exists. And I think that, also training camps sometimes. I mean, I also know that in my youth I had some training camps, so it happens. I mean, we have, I would say at the moment, quite many like pretty strong players. I mean, like around this 2650, like 4 or 5 players. So this is, I think, really good already. But I mean,
I
of
should
course,
ask if they're adopting any new players,
Okay, I don't know anything about this, but
So we're still waiting for Wesley to make a move, and he has 96s on the board.
96.
So he spent roughly, I think, 8 or 9 minutes on this 96. What do you think he was thinking about?
The answer is I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Vincent has any idea. I really don't know, because it seems...
No, I'm also no expert in the Berlin. I mean, okay, probably he was just trying to figure out that, like, what could Hikaru have planned there? Maybe this is the idea.
No, but yet again, it's a little bit puzzling. Do you have any alternative here, really?
Okay, maybe he has. This is.
Like there is this crazy line. Like e takes d4, but it's not good for black as far as I know. E takes d4, rook e1, d5, knight takes, bishop c5. Then don't quite remember. I think you take and you're supposed to go to f1 or something. For whatever reason, but I might be lying to you guys. I just know that the line exists, and if you don't remember, like if you face it in blitz with white, you might go wrong. But it's not a serious line, not for this kind of tournament, right? So after knight d6, wait a second, there is this more or less serious move, bishop a4, right? It's here, the pawn sacrifice. But very likely he will go for bishop c6 for an endgame.
But okay, this is also, I would say, far away from draw, especially if Wesley doesn't remember everything, then, I mean, it's not like this is so easy for black. Of course, I mean, you have really good potential with the pair of bishops, but, I mean, it's always tricky, this pawn structure. I mean, okay,
obviously.
I believe we have seen both sides win this endgame pretty quick, so, I mean, a lot can happen,
I wanted to ask about sort of the Berlin structure, and especially the line that Miro showed. is it easy if you happen to forget the line or perhaps the continuation? Is it easy to figure it out over the board, or is it possible rather? Or do you have to know exactly what to do?
Okay, it depends usually. Yeah, I mean, if you like, nearly always you know a position. This is where's the main line, and you know that I need to get there. Yeah, but I mean, normally if you don't remember the moves, it usually happens that you're trying to make something up which is totally wrong. I mean, then you start playing moves where you believe you will get to the position, and sometimes over the board you will also get there, but normally, in fact, this is the wrong way. I mean, everyone tries to somehow make up the missing moves, but it goes wrong really often, I would say, yeah? I mean, sometimes after the game you believe, okay, yeah, I played everything correct, was going the right way, and then if you check, you see that, okay, just total mess, yeah, what you did. I mean, this is just not the way to go. I think this happens quite often, so I would say that it can be dangerous, but usually you try to do it, of course, because, I mean, in some positions it's really like this, you know, one more engine move and the game will be a totally different one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that I've mentioned already a couple of times during those broadcasts, that, yeah, in some cases you wish you didn't know how the position's supposed to look like, so at least you would have a chance to find moves. But exactly as you said, Vincent, like trying to making up. I remember like on move 20 the position has to look like this, right? And now I'm at move 10, but what were the moves? And then you try to, okay, probably I should play there, and you're unable to calculate. You have this picture of the position that it has to be 20 moves from now. That happened to me very often, and then yeah. And sometimes you would get there, but with some move transposition, which could cost you dearly, right?
Yeah, and I was actually reading a chat message. So they say Vincent is not an expert in the Berlin, but he's an expert in Frankfurt. And there's a question: who's the strongest German GM? And who's your favorite chess player, Vincent?
So, favorite chess player? I never really know, yeah, I mean, for me it's like I grew up with Vachier-Lagrave being world champion, and this is also like the first I remember, and of course, I mean, who's the world champion? You check the games if you're young, yeah, I mean, you're trying to figure out that, okay, how are these guys playing that amazing? So, I mean, that's who I grew up with, and of course now also Magnus for quite a long time. So, I mean, I was also really fascinated always by this kind of Kasparov, Karpov, Korchnoi area. Yeah, I mean, this was like also, I mean, of course, everyone read a lot about this and okay, trying to figure out that, yeah, how were the matches, and also, I mean, this like time before the engines or the very start of engines, yeah, because I mean, nowadays it's like you make a move without engines in the opening and usually you will just make a bad move if you don't really think about it. I mean, if you just play a move by hand, and I think back then it really was like, okay, engine could help you at some point, but it's not like what engine says will be correct. It might also be stupid. And I think this was a really interesting time, yeah? I mean, you can have the help, but mostly you need to do the work your own. And that's, yeah, this was like...
Yeah, you mentioned Korchnoi. What are your feelings on the French defense?
Okay, I would say that, I mean, I started playing it a few times in online chess, like when the pandemic started, and I have to say that it's more or less acceptable, but I think that, you know, on top level, it's not something you should really do. Yeah, I mean, if you will ask like really strong strategical players, they will all tell you that, okay, you know, if I get the French reward, I will play e4 every game. Yeah, this is, I think, more or less the idea that they have, because nowadays there are so many openings where you feel like you don't even have anything you can play, and then getting the French will already be more or less a dream, even if it's not that bad, yeah. So that's more or less, I would say, the idea.
Yeah.
So in comparison to other openings, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Miro, what are your thoughts on the French?
That's depressing. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I prefer French cuisine over French defense.
Cuisine,
yeah.
right.
No, but seriously, I think Vincent summed it up perfectly. It's not that it's unsound. You can play it, but what's the point? Sort of, what's the point? You want to be solid. You have solid options. You want something that you can try to win. If white is aggressive, once again, you have more suitable openings for that. So strangely enough, it's kind of I mean, it's playable, no problem, but it's very hard to, it's not best at anything, strangely enough, I would say. Okay, you want to be more solid, play the Petrov. That would be my argument, right? You want to have like complex strategic position, don't know, play the Sicilian, some lines, play the Caro-Kann. At least you would not care about bishop on c8 being bad. But yeah, that's a very simplistic, probably wrong explanation, but that's my feeling about French. I tried French with black, with all honesty, and it just didn't work out for me at all. Like.
Yeah, no, there's another chat question that made me laugh. What is the best opening and why is it the bung cloud?
Come on. These are made up things. There is no such opening.
Yes, of course. Have you ever considered streaming, Vincent?
Oh, okay, I mean, for now, I was like always happy if I somehow found enough time to like do everything
Yeah.
I really had to do. So, I mean, streaming was not really an option. I mean, it's like,
that's
you know,
true.
if you're looking for the Grand Prix and you know that you will have like school exams, you have to focus on that as well. And then you will have like more or less 1 or 2 weeks to focus on that, then okay, that's what you're gonna focus on. But
Yeah, I don't know how you balance that.
Okay,
to
dear
be honest.
friends, let's get ready for a tiebreak tomorrow.
All of the last two moves were made rather quickly. What can
yeah,
we
but
say
okay, I
about
mean,
that?
Hikaru won every single one of his tiebreaks so far, so I mean,
And what is his general score against Wesley when it comes to rapid chess? I wonder. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Queen e4. I was hoping there was this line. I don't know if you're aware, Vincent. There was this line. Andreikin won against Kramnik once. I think it was Queen c3, right after Queen d6.
Yeah.
So at least there is a little bit of trickery going on, right? I mean, after Queen c3, white's still not worse, and he might pose some problems. I mean, this is just tiebreak, ladies and gentlemen. What was the deal, Vincent? You were supposed to join us for a couple of hours, right?
So we can continue the broadcast and talk about other stuff then.
Yeah. No, but no, honestly, it's well, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's absolutely a legit decision by Hikaru, right? As you pointed out, he is, after all, a tiebreak specialist. He won all the tiebreaks he was involved into in this tournament. So, like,
but
why
yeah, I mean,
not?
Wesley also played, I mean, a lot of this online Magnus championships and also, I think, performed really well. So, I mean, certainly Wesley is also not someone you should underestimate in tiebreaks, that's for sure. I mean, he's also a really strong player there.
Yeah, and I still remember kind of pre-COVID when this Grand Chess Tour was big thing, right? Wesley winning the rapid portion very often. They would have this tournament where you play 2 days of rapid and then a day of blitz, and rapid would be very often won by Wesley, sometimes in front of Magnus, not only Hikaru and the other guys. So Wesley should not be underestimated, exactly as you said. So anyway, guys, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a lovely 30 minutes, of course.
Yeah, but remember, Jesse, I was complaining that this is like kind of a hard tournament every day in the group stage. Vincent, by the way, I'm to blame your game against Dominguez, the 80 moves game, the one from the first round, I mean, with the opposite colors. By the way, I promised on air that I will take a look at the end game, and I didn't, so shame on me. But you apparently did. Was it holding when the queens are off? Was it holding? It was lost, right?
I mean, okay, but the idea is really tricky, yeah, because I will apparently, I mean, in the lines, I will get king f7, bishop h7, I will get this position, but the problem is he will just take on f6. Just take the pawn with the bishop, and then go g5, g6, and it's over. Because
the king goes to e5, yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, the problem is like, I mean, I have to go to the pawn endgame. Otherwise, he will go king g5, h6, h7, and then pawn endgame is just lost. So, I mean, basically, that's why I would need one more tempo Yeah, but I mean only in time to either go king f7 and then be in time after g5, g5, bishop g5 to go king e6, or to go bishop d3 and then I'm not in time after g5. So that's
So it was important for him to keep the h-pawn then.
Yes, it was kind of time sensitive as well, right? Because when we were looking, I thought it's more of a, you know, Dvoretsky style, like schematic. So you put it here, you put it there, and then you win. But no,
it's not that easy because the schematic thing doesn't really work there. Yeah, I mean, also the problem is that if you will start putting the bishop on h4, then after g5 there's always bishop f7 idea. And then I will take h5, so this is also not that easy, but yeah, I think putting bishop on d8 and king f4, and he will be right in time to take on f6 or go g5, and then one of the things will be winning.
Yeah. But
that was a head scratcher indeed.
Yeah, but that was one of the games to remember, I want to say, from the group stage. That was very interesting endgame. All right.
Yeah, and even chat was mentioning that we didn't even have time to ask Vincent if he likes snooker.
What?
Like what?
Or if you prefer snooker. Snooker?
Snooker.
Snooker. Is it like pool?
It's
Not quite.
one of the
It's like
one of the games on the billiards table. Yeah, snooker, British thing.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. Okay, I know it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm good at it, but I think it's a nice game. But it's just, I mean, not something I spent quite a lot of time on. So.
Yeah.
And do you prefer Marvel or DC?
I'm not an expert concerning this stuff. I mean, as a child for me it was
You don't
like
have
this
time.
Harry Potter stuff, and then I mean this Marvel was
Potter,
probably
okay.
already too late for me. I don't know, but never really watched that much.
Right.
So we had the discussion with Jesse the other day about Marvel, DC, I mean, the rivalry and so on. But yeah, you'll still get back to it one day, I believe, Vincent. Because for me, like, as the kid, I had no idea this stuff existed. But nowadays, with all the movies and so on, kind of having a kid of my own, I mean, you still kind of go back to it. So...
Yeah, today was short and sweet, and Chad is even mentioning that they should play the rapid right now.
No.
Nah, I think that's not happening, but yeah, tomorrow though, yeah, well, one has reasons to be disappointed a bit with today's kind of no game, but that assures us at least 2 rapid games tomorrow, which tend to be exciting most of the time. Yeah, so no real disappointment here on my end.
Alright, so I'm not sure if we will be getting an interview live or pre-recorded, so we'll just have to wait to hear from our producer.
Yeah, I think the interview is gone by that time while we were discussing snooker and other important things in life. Yeah. But what would they say? They would respect one another. They would say they're looking forward to play tiebreak tomorrow, and that's basically, you know, kind of TLDR of this interview, brought to you by Miro.
Too long, don't read.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think that'll be it for today then, right? The
Sounds good.
But that's not our fault, right? That's not our fault, yeah.
But thank you so much, Vincent, for joining us.
Sure,
it was a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks everybody, and see you tomorrow, guys. So one more time, Jesse, I was wrong, but I was right at the same time. I guess like e4, e5 happened. It wasn't a test, right? It wasn't a test. That was just straight up Naka going for a draw and going for a tiebreak, basically.
All right, and this was one of the lines you had actually shown on the board. I mean, there was this repetition, and I have seen it before. I just didn't think it would happen today.
Yeah, as I said, Naka done it in online events, and there's always danger that this would happen, but it's a relative danger. As I said, we are getting 2 rapid games tomorrow, so we are up for an exciting tiebreak and have all the reasons to look forward to tomorrow's playoff. The reminder,
Yes.
that we have candidates qualifiers already. It's Naka and Richard Rapport. We have the winner of Grand Prix series, which is Hikaru Nakamura, right, with 1 win and 1 final so far. But we do not know the winner of the third leg in Berlin. It's either Nakamura or Wesley So, and this will be decided tomorrow. So stay tuned, join tomorrow 3 p.m. Berlin time, adjust to your time zone accordingly. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Vidit Gujarati. I'm 27 years old, an international chess grandmaster from India. I'm also the brand ambassador for FIDE Online Arena. It's a place where you can play for online rating and online titles which can be recognized by FIDE officially. I feel chess is a sport which can be definitely played online, which other sports don't enjoy the luxury of. And the most important thing is that you can play from the comfort of your home, be it any time, against strong players all around the globe. And since the past 2 years, we have seen a boom in online chess. And be it for professional players or for people who have just started, I think it provides a great opportunity. In the next few months, I'll be streaming and playing games on the FIDE Online Arena. So be a part of it, and who knows, maybe we'll end up playing a game with each other. See you soon on the FIDE Online Arena.
Break, but I was wondering if your opening preparation was affected by the fact that we are in Berlin now.
Well, I guess not really. I mean, I sort of expected something like this, but I mean, mainly in my mind, the only question was, do I want to play something like Rookie 1 and try to play some game? But the problem is I'm also playing this online tournament at the same time. So, I mean, if you go into the game trying to somehow play something and then hoping that you can, like, I guess, win the game or something in 3 hours, I think it's not a good attitude, because then later on your choices will be affected, and so you either have to decide, am I going to make the draw, or am I going to like just play the game? And so I kind of had made up my mind, and yeah, I mean, I guess it's disappointing, of course, for the fans, but yeah, I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah, also this 13th day of the tournament, so it's very long. But also my strategy today was, if Hikaru wants to get a game, I was going to use up all my time on the clock, because your game starts, what, 6:30 or 7?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. No, I realize this too, yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to use every single second my clock, like until checkmate, and then use up all time the 14th move. Because I also know that Hikaru wants to do puzzles and play some practice games online before the rapid chess. But yeah, it's disappointing for fans, but there's always another game. But also I must say the Rapid Chess Championship, which is held weekly for 26 weeks on chess.com, is a very nice tournament, but it's only good if you win first place. Because first place is a lot of money and a lot of points. But I always get eliminated on the quarterfinals.
So are you going to prepare today? I mean, for tomorrow?
Yeah. Sorry?
How are you going to prepare? Now we know what Hikaru will do, but what will you do?
Yeah, maybe I'll play a few blitz games also online or over the board. So try to get there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
We had Berlin opening today, and I was just wondering if you had a chance to go around and see the Berlin Wall these days, I mean, during this trip.
No, but I mean, I think Wesley already sort of said it. I mean, for him, he's played every single day here. I think he's played 13 days in a row. And I mean, the only day I had off was this day after the qualifiers. So I also only had one day off. I mean, in the first event, maybe I should have gone out if I'd realized, because I think, I mean, I had the break after the qualifier. I won my semifinal in regulation, so I had like 2 rest days. But I didn't do much. And I think, I mean, in general, to go visit like near where the walls or the museum, I think that's like 4 or 5 miles away. So it's not super close. So I mean, generally I've just stayed in the area, but the schedule makes it, I think, very, very difficult.
Yeah, it's my second time Berlin. We got to see everything that's walking distance from the hotel. I must say that I like the German people very much. I like Berlin, Germany. Fortunately, they have bad history, but it's such a great country. And I enjoy tremendously playing here. I'm very glad that I played twice in a row in Berlin, because I get to know already everything that's the playing venue and the hotel, and it's all very good and stuff. But yeah, I was hoping actually, if I get eliminated earlier in the tournament, then I would get to sightsee, like spend a few days. But I have to play every single day, and our flight on Tuesday is at 6 in the morning.
So there is no chance, only the night between your flight and the end of the tournament.
Yeah, we always try to stay a few days after the event, like 2 or 3 days, to get the sightsee and have a tour guide. But COVID kind of changed all that, and yeah, also now I have to play every day.
So what the fans should expect from tomorrow's tiebreak? A lot of fun?
2 games, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 games, so I mean, at least we know it'll be fun.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Yeah, 2 games of rapid. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.
Okay.